Most relationships don't fail because of lack of love. They fail because love alone was never enough. Think about it. Attraction fades, comfort disappears, and feelings change. But the couples who last, they build something deeper. They build partnership, honesty, growth, and respect. If you want a relationship that actually lasts, you don't need more romance. You need a blueprint. And today, get back. I'm going to give you that blueprint. When most people think about relationships, they imagine the spark, the butterflies, and the emotional high that comes from being with someone new. That feeling is exciting, but it is not sustainable. Feelings change, situations shift, and emotions come and go like the tide. What actually lasts in a relationship is not passion alone, but a deep alignment of values and vision. It is the shared understanding that two people are walking in the same direction toward a future they both want to build. A relationship is not just about romance. It is about partnership. Take it back. It is two people deciding to invest in each other the way they would invest in a mission or a business. The romance is the flame that lights the fire, but the partnership is the wood that keeps it burning. If you think about the strongest couples you know, what stands out is rarely the intensity of their passion. Instead, it is their ability to operate as a team, complementing each other's strengths and covering each other's weaknesses. They communicate not just about how they feel, but about where they are going and why. They know that love is not enough to overcome misalignment in vision. If one person dreams of building an empire while the other wants a quiet life, that gap eventually becomes a fracture. The couples who last understand that their relationship is a joint venture in life, where success is measured not just in years together, but in the quality of the future they build. Partnership means being equally committed to the journey, not just the destination. Building that kind of partnership requires intention. It means asking the hard questions early instead of avoiding them. It means being brave enough to talk about money, career ambitions, family, and long-term goals. Too many relationships fall apart because people assume they were on the same page, only to discover years later that they were reading entirely different books. Partnership means clarity. It means saying, this is the life I want to create. Do you want to build it with me? And if the answer is yes, it means holding each other accountable to that shared vision, even when it is uncomfortable. A real partnership is not just about making each other happy in the moment. It is about building a foundation that can weather time and trials. Partnership also means equality, but not in the sense of being identical. Two people do not have to bring the same skills or the same energy to the table, but they do have to bring their best. One person might be the visionary while the other is the executor. One might bring stability while the other brings adaptability. When both sides commit fully, the relationship becomes greater than the sum of its parts. Problems arise when one partner shows up at 50%, expecting the other to fill the gap. Lasting relationships require both people giving 100%, not keeping score or waiting for the other to do more. In true partnership, no one is holding back. Another part of treating your relationship as a partnership is respect. You respect your partner the way you would respect a business partner, by listening, by valuing their perspective, and by honoring the commitments you make. That means showing up when you say you will, doing what you said you would, and being consistent over time. Romance without respect becomes chaos. Respect without romance can feel dry. But when you combine deep respect with genuine love, you create stability and passion at the same time. You don't take your partner for granted. You don't assume they will always be there if you neglect the relationship. You continue to invest daily because you understand the compounding effect of consistency. Partnership also requires humility. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking you always know best, or that your way is the right way. But in a relationship built to last, you recognize that your partner sees things you don't. They have strengths you lack and perspectives that challenge your assumptions. Instead of competing to be right, you learn to collaborate toward what is best. You begin to see disagreements not as threats, but as opportunities to expand your thinking. Humility allows you to create solutions that neither of you could have built alone. It takes a willingness to set aside ego for the good of the team, because in partnership, the team is more important than the individual. One of the greatest misconceptions about relationships is that they should always feel easy. People assume that if they are with the right person, everything will fall into place without effort. But partnership is not about ease, it is about commitment. The strongest teams work hard to stay aligned, to solve problems, to take it back, and to keep moving forward even when things get tough. A lasting relationship is not effortless. It is maintained through intentional communication, mutual respect, and a constant commitment to growth. The couples who last are not the ones who never struggle, but the ones who choose to keep working through the struggles together. Another essential part of partnership is shared purpose. When two people unite under a mission greater than themselves, their bond becomes almost unbreakable. That mission could be building a family, creating a business, serving a community, or simply becoming the best versions of themselves together. Purpose creates resilience. It gives meaning to the sacrifices, the late nights, and the hard conversations. Without shared purpose, a relationship can become fragile, easily derailed by temporary challenges or shifting emotions. But with purpose, every challenge becomes a test that strengthens the bond. Shared purpose keeps the relationship moving forward, even when the road gets hard. Partnership in relationships is also about balance between independence and unity. You are not meant to lose yourself in another person, but neither are you meant to live as two completely separate individuals. The healthiest partnerships are formed when two whole people come together, not to complete each other, but to complement each other. Each partner maintains their own identity, their own ambitions, and their own sense of self, while still contributing fully to the joint vision. This balance prevents resentment, because no one feels trapped or diminished. Instead, both partners feel empowered to grow individually while still growing together. The beauty of treating a relationship like a partnership is that it creates durability. Feelings alone can be fragile, but partnership is built on commitment, trust, and shared vision. It is the decision to stay aligned, to work together, and to invest continuously. It is understanding that the success of the relationship is not about fleeting emotions, but about consistent actions. When two people see themselves as partners, builders of something greater than either of them could achieve alone, they stop asking, how can this relationship make me happy today? And start asking how can we build a life together that makes us both proud tomorrow? That mindset transforms a relationship from temporary to timeless. The foundation of any lasting relationship is built on truth. Not the polished truth that makes us look good, not the partial truth that spares us from discomfort, but the kind of radical honesty that strips away masks and forces us to be seen as we are. This honesty requires courage because it means being vulnerable enough to share fears, insecurities, and even failures without trying to hide them. It also means being willing to hear the truth from your partner, even when it stings. Without honesty, a relationship becomes a performance where both people play roles instead of showing up as themselves. That performance may last for a while, but it cannot endure. Radical honesty is not about being cruel. It is about being real enough to build trust that can actually hold under pressure. Trust does not grow in silence or in avoidance. It grows when two people tell the truth, especially when it would be easier not to. Think about how often small lies or omissions erode closeness over time. A white lie about how you feel, a hidden frustration, an unspoken need. All of these may seem small, but together they create distance. Radical honesty eliminates that buildup because it brings everything into the open. It might feel uncomfortable in the moment, but discomfort today prevents disaster tomorrow. Relationships collapse not because of one big betrayal, but because of the accumulation of tiny truths that were never spoken. Radical honesty ensures that both partners always know where they stand, take it back so they can address issues while they are still small. Alongside honesty comes radical responsibility, which is the idea that each person takes full ownership for their role in the relationship. Most people are taught to think in terms of 50-50, I'll do my part if you do yours. But that mindset creates blame, resentment, and waiting games. Radical responsibility says, I am 100% accountable for how I show up regardless of what you do. When both partners adopt this approach, the relationship becomes unbreakable. There is no finger pointing, no scorekeeping, no ultra harder when you do. Each person takes ownership for their actions, their emotions, and their contribution to the partnership. That kind of responsibility is liberating because it removes excuses. Taking radical responsibility does not mean accepting blame for everything. It means recognizing what is within your control and owning it fully. You cannot control your partner's choices, but you can control your reactions. You cannot dictate their habits, but you can model the standards you want to see. When each partner stops trying to control the other and instead focuses on controlling themselves, the relationship begins to rise. Instead of competing for who is more right or who is less wrong, both people are focused on growth. Radical responsibility requires humility because it asks you to look in the mirror first. It is much easier to blame than to change, but blame never builds anything lasting. Change, on the other hand, transforms the relationship from the inside out. Many couples struggle because they expect their partner to fill in their gaps instead of owning their own growth. One person may say, you never listen, while ignoring the fact that they never express their needs clearly. Another may say, you don't make me feel loved, while neglecting to show affection themselves. Radical responsibility calls out this pattern and flips it upside down. Instead of asking, why aren't you giving me what I want? It asks, am I giving what I want to receive? When both partners live this way, the relationship thrives. Love stops being conditional on the other person's behavior and becomes a choice each person makes daily. Responsibility means loving not because of what you get it back, but because of who you choose to be. This combination of radical honesty and radical responsibility creates an environment where resentment cannot survive. Resentment is born when one person feels unheard, unseen, undervalued. But when honesty is present, nothing is left unspoken. When responsibility is present, nothing is left undone. Imagine two people who commit to telling each other the truth, even when it is messy, and who also commit to taking ownership of their part without waiting for the other. That dynamic leaves no space for bitterness to grow. Instead, every issue becomes solvable because the focus is not on blame, but on resolution. Resentment withers in the presence of accountability and truth. Radical honesty also deepens intimacy. Intimacy is not just physical. It is the emotional closeness that comes from being fully known. Most people fear that if they reveal their flaws, their partner will love them less. But the reality is that hiding those flaws creates distance. True intimacy is created when you risk being seen completely and are loved anyway. Radical honesty builds that bridge. It says, this is who I am, the good and the bad, and I trust you enough to let you in. That level of openness is terrifying, but is also the very thing that strengthens connection. Without honesty, there is no intimacy, only performance. Radical responsibility enhances that intimacy by creating safety. When each partner knows the other will take ownership, they stop walking on eggshells. There is no need to fear endless blame or defensiveness, because both people are committed to growth. Safety is not the absence of conflict. It is the assurance that conflict will be met with honesty and accountability. When safety exists, vulnerability follows. And when vulnerability is present, intimacy deepens further. Responsibility and honesty feed each other in a cycle that continually strengthens the bond. One without the other is incomplete, but together they form the bedrock of a lasting relationship. The greatest gift of living this way is freedom. Freedom from the exhausting effort of pretending to be someone you are not. Freedom from the constant tension of waiting for the other person to change first. Freedom from the cycle of blame and resentment that keeps so many relationships stuck. Radical honesty frees you from secrecy, while radical responsibility frees you from helplessness. Together, they create a relationship where both partners feel empowered, respected, and trusted. And in that kind of environment, love does not just survive. It grows stronger over time because it is continually reinforced by truth and action. When two people commit to this level of honesty and responsibility, they stop settling for surface level connection. They stop measuring their relationship by how happy they feel in the moment and begin measuring it by how deeply they are growing together. They recognize that challenges are not signs of failure, but opportunities for greater trust and greater resilience. Honesty and responsibility become the tools that carry them through every difficulty because they always know the truth and they always own their part. That combination is rare, but it is also what makes a relationship last when so many others fall apart. Most people enter relationships searching for comfort. They want someone who will make them feel safe, loved, and accepted without condition. While comfort is necessary at times, it cannot be the foundation of a relationship that lasts. Comfort without growth turns into stagnation, and stagnation eventually suffocates love. What keeps a relationship alive over decades is not how easy it feels, but how much both people grow together. Growth requires challenge, and challenge requires a willingness to step outside the predictable. The couples who thrive are not those who avoid discomfort, but those who lean into it together. They use challenges as opportunities to sharpen one another, not excuses to pull apart. Growth over comfort means you are willing to have the conversations that scare you. It means you do not hide from hard truths because they might upset the peace in the moment. A peaceful silence built on avoidance eventually breaks into chaos when resentment surfaces. Growth demands that you disrupt that false peace by speaking honestly, even if it leads to friction. That friction, when handled with respect, becomes the spark that forges deeper understanding. The relationships that grow are not free from arguments, but they argue in ways that lead to solutions rather than destruction. They see conflict not as proof that love is broken, but as evidence that love is strong enough to handle the truth. Another aspect of choosing growth over comfort is pushing each other to be better, even when it would be easier to let things slide. Love that lasts is not indulgent. It is demanding. It sees who a person could become and holds them accountable to that vision. A partner who challenges you may frustrate you, but deep down you know they are calling you higher. Settling for comfort allows bad habits to grow unchecked, but growth demands accountability. That accountability might feel uncomfortable in the moment, it back, but it creates admiration over time. When both partners push each other to evolve, they stop fearing change because they know change makes them stronger together. Relationships that prioritize growth also invest in continuous learning. They seek out new experiences, new skills, and new ways of seeing the world together. In fact, they understand that boredom often destroys relationships faster than conflict does. Comfort breeds predictability, and predictability without novelty drains excitement. Growth, however, creates a constant sense of progress. Two people who are learning together are never stagnant. They are always discovering new sides of themselves and each other. That sense of forward momentum keeps attraction alive back because nothing is more magnetic than watching your partner become more of who they're meant to be. Choosing growth over comfort also changes the way you view setbacks. When a couple is only chasing comfort, a setback feels like a threat to their stability. They resist it, fear it, and sometimes even fall apart because of it. But when growth is the goal, setbacks are redefined as stepping stones. Every difficulty becomes a chance to learn, adapt, and strengthen the bond. Instead of breaking under the weight of challenges, couples who prioritize growth use those challenges to reinforce their connection. They ask, what can this teach us? How can this make us better? That mindset turns obstacles into opportunities and creates resilience that comfort alone can never provide. Another powerful outcome of prioritizing growth is the way it transforms respect. Comfort can make people complacent, and complacency leads to taking each other for granted. Growth, on the other hand, keeps admiration alive. When you watch your partner strive, improve, and overcome, you cannot help but respect them. Respect builds attraction because it reminds you why you chose this person in the first place. It reminds you that you are not just with who they are now, you are with who they are becoming. That kind of admiration keeps relationships fresh because you are continually discovering new reasons to be proud of your partner. Prioritizing growth also requires humility. You cannot grow if you believe you already have all the answers and you cannot expect your partner to grow if you are unwilling to change yourself. A lasting relationship is one where both people are willing to admit mistakes, learn, and adapt. Humility creates space for growth because it removes defensiveness. Instead of saying, this is just how I am, humility asks, how can I improve? That question, asked consistently, turns a relationship into fertile ground for transformation. Growth does not come from pretending to be perfect. It comes from the courage to evolve openly in front of each other. This approach to relationships is not about constant struggle or never feeling safe. It is about balance. Comfort still matters, but it should be the resting place, not the destination. Growth means you can enjoy moments of peace, but you do not build your entire relationship around avoiding discomfort. You accept that love is not always easy, and that is exactly what makes it valuable. The willingness to work, to stretch, and to grow together creates a sense of partnership that comfort alone cannot sustain. It transforms love from a fleeting feeling into a lifelong journey of becoming. When two people commit to growth over comfort, they also set an example for everyone around them. Their friends, families, and even children can see the difference between a relationship that survives and one that thrives. They demonstrate that love is not about clinging to what is safe, but about embracing what is possible. That they prove that relationships are not static. They are living things that require nurturing, pruning, and sometimes difficult seasons to flourish. Growth makes love expansive, spilling over into every area of life. A relationship built on growth becomes a source of strength, not just for the couple, but for everyone connected to them. Ultimately, growth over comfort redefines what it means to be in love. It shifts the focus from how much ease the relationship brings to how much it transforms both people. It creates a love that is alive, evolving, and resilient. Instead of fearing change, both partners welcome it because they know it is the path to becoming their best selves together. Comfort may feel good in the short term, but growth ensures that love lasts in the long term. That is why the couples who thrive are not the ones who always choose the easy road, but the ones who choose the road that leads upward, even when it demands more. Attraction is often what brings two people together, but it is not what keeps them together. Attraction can ignite quickly, but it also fades quickly if there is no deeper foundation beneath it. The real glue of a lasting relationship is respect. Respect is the quiet force that underlies every strong partnership, the thing that makes people stay even when times are hard. Respect means you admire your partner not just for how they look or what they provide but for who they are at their core. It means you value their character, their discipline, and their choices. Respect is not given automatically. It is earned through actions over time. And when both people consistently earn and protect each other's respect, the relationship becomes unshakable. Respect shows itself in the way we listen. When we truly respect our partner, we do not dismiss their concerns, belittle their feelings, or brush off their opinions. We treat their words as important even when we disagree. Listening with respect builds trust because it shows that we care enough to understand rather than simply react. Without respect, listening becomes half-hearted and communication eventually breaks down. Too many relationships fail not because love disappears, but because respect erodes slowly through careless words and neglect. When respect is alive, even difficult conversations feel constructive. When respect dies, even ordinary conversations can feel like battles. Another element of respect is consistency. It is not enough to respect your partner in public, but dismiss them in private. It is not enough to show respect when things are going well, but withdraw it during conflict. True respect is consistent, steady, and unwavering. It shows up in the little things, the tone of voice, the follow through on promises, the willingness to stand by someone even when it is inconvenient. Respect is measured by the actions we take when no one is watching, because that is when authenticity shows. If you only act respectfully when it is easy, then respect is conditional. But unconditional respect is what allows love to grow stronger instead of weaker over time. Respect also has a lot to do with how we see potential. Comfort focuses on who someone is right now, but respect looks at who they are becoming. Respect is forward-looking. It recognizes effort, ambition, and growth. When you admire your partner for striving to improve, you are investing in their future, not just their present. That kind of admiration builds a deep sense of partnership. Because it shows that you are not just in love with who they are, but with who they are working to be. Respect celebrates progress instead of demanding perfection. It says, I see how hard you are trying, and I admire you for it. That encouragement fuels even more growth, creating a powerful cycle that strengthens the bond. Respect in relationships also requires boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are guardrails that protect what matters most. When both partners respect each other's boundaries, they create a safe environment where trust can flourish. Disrespect happens when boundaries are ignored, dismissed, or violated. That is why respect is not just about words, but about actions that honor those boundaries. For example, respecting your partner's time means valuing their commitments. Respecting their individuality means supporting their personal goals even when they differ from your own. Respect is what keeps closeness from turning into control and unity from turning into suffocation. With boundaries, respect becomes the shield that protects both love and freedom. Respect also transforms the way partners handle conflict. Disrespecting conflict looks like insults, blame, and attempts to win at the other's expense. Respect in conflict looks like patience, restraint, and the pursuit of resolution. Disagreements are inevitable, but disrespect is a choice. Couples who build lasting love choose to argue without destroying each other. They understand that words spoken in anger can leave scars long after the fight is over. Respect keeps the conversation focused on the issue, not the person. It ensures that even in the heat of the moment, both partners remember they are on the same team. Respect makes conflict a bridge to understanding instead of a wall that divides. One of the most overlooked aspects of respect is admiration. Over time, many couples stop expressing admiration for one another, assuming that their partner already knows how they feel. But admiration unspoken is often felt as absence. People need to hear that they are valued and respected, not just in grand gestures, but in everyday moments. Saying, I'm proud of you, or I admire how you handled that, can strengthen a bond more than 1,000 romantic words. Attraction feeds the heart, but admiration feeds the soul. When both people admire each other genuinely, the relationship becomes a source of pride, not just pleasure. Respect also acts as a safeguard against complacency. It is easy to take someone for granted when you assume they will always be there, but respect prevents that by reminding you never to stop appreciating what you have. It reminds you that your partner is not an obligation, but a choice you make daily. Disrespect treats a relationship as disposable, but respect treats it as sacred. This perspective changes how you show up, how you speak, and how you prioritize your partner. It keeps gratitude alive, and gratitude is one of the strongest fuels for long-term commitment. Where there is respect, there is also appreciation. Attraction alone cannot sustain love because attraction is often influenced by circumstances. Respect, however, does not fade when circumstances change. You can respect your partner through sickness, financial struggle, or personal failure because respect is based on character and effort. It is not dependent on external factors. That is why respect is the thread that weaves relationships together across decades. Even when romance fluctuates, respect provides the steady foundation that brings couples back to each other again and again. Respect does not just keep love alive, it keeps it meaningful. It ensures that love is not shallow but deep, not fleeting but lasting. Respect over convenience is the choice that turns relationships into legacies. When both people value each other deeply, admire each other's growth, and protect each other's dignity, they build something that cannot easily be broken. Respect is not glamorous, but it is powerful. It is the quiet strength behind loyalty, admiration, and lasting commitment. Attraction may open the door, but respect is what keeps you inside. If you want a relationship that actually lasts, choose to build it not on fleeting sparks, but on unwavering respect. Because in the end, love without respect collapses, but respect ensures that love only grows stronger with time.